In Genoa City, everything always looks normal on the surface, but beneath that calm, things are constantly breaking apart. And right now, multiple lives are about to collide in a way that no one can control anymore. This is one of those moments where everything changes. We start with Nick Newman, who is currently in Las Vegas, and what happens to him here will push him closer to his absolute breaking point. Nick has been struggling silently for a while now. The pressure, the emotional weight, and the dangerous situation he's involved in have slowly been pulling him down. But in this episode, things finally spiral out of control. A dangerous substance enters the picture, something Nick should have never been exposed to. One wrong decision, one bad moment, and suddenly everything starts falling apart. Nick consumes a tainted drug batch without realizing the consequences, and within moments, his condition starts to deteriorate rapidly. At first, it seems like confusion. Then it turns into panic. And before anyone fully understands what's happening, Nick is completely out of control. Adam Newman is right there when everything begins to go wrong. He immediately realizes something is seriously wrong with Nick and rushes to help him. Adam tries to wake him up, tries to bring him back, but Nick is slipping further away with every passing second. Nothing is working. The situation is getting worse fast. Meanwhile, Sharon Newman and Noah Newman are also present, and their fear grows instantly as they realize this is not just a minor medical issue, this is life-threatening. The tension in the room becomes unbearable as they watch Nick struggle. There is panic everywhere. No one knows what the next step should be. And in the middle of all this chaos, there is someone watching from a distance, someone who is enjoying every second of it. Matt Clark. He is monitoring everything through a live feed, and instead of concern, there is satisfaction on his face. Watching Nick suffer is exactly what he wanted. He is calm, even entertained, as he sees the situation unfold in real time. For Matt, this is not an accident. This is control. Back at the scene, Adam is desperately trying to keep Nick stable. He is calling out to him, shaking him slightly, trying anything that might bring him back. But Nick is not responding the way he should. His condition continues to worsen. Time is running out. At this point, it becomes clear that if help doesn't arrive soon, things could turn fatal. That's when another important character enters the situation, Sienna. Sienna arrives at the abandoned gas station area where everything is happening. She immediately senses the seriousness of the situation. Unlike others, she doesn't freeze in fear. Instead, she reacts quickly. Sienna has personal experience with overdose-related tragedy in her life, so she understands exactly what might be happening. There is a strong possibility that she carries something with her that could help in emergencies like this. And now, that knowledge becomes critical. Nick's condition is critical, and every second counts. Adam, Sharon, and Noah are all emotionally overwhelmed, but they try to stay focused. They know they cannot afford to lose him. The atmosphere is intense, heavy, and full of uncertainty. At this stage, Nick is still alive, but barely holding on. And just when it seems like things cannot get worse, the episode takes an even darker emotional turn. Because what happens next will push Nick Newman to a level of suffering that no one saw coming. The situation in Las Vegas is now fully out of control. What started as confusion has turned into a life-threatening emergency, and everyone on the scene can feel it. Nick Newman is still unresponsive, and his condition is getting worse with every passing moment. The effects of the tainted substance are clearly taking over, and there is no simple way to reverse what is happening right now. Adam Newman is still trying everything he can. He is physically exhausted, but he refuses to give up. He keeps calling Nick's name, trying to force him back to awareness, hoping for even the smallest reaction. But Nick is barely there. His breathing is unstable, and his body is not responding normally. It's clear that this is far beyond what any of them expected when the night began. Sharon Newman is completely shaken. She is struggling to stay calm as she watches Nick slip further away. Her fear is not just emotional, it's raw panic. She keeps asking what can be done, but there are no easy answers. Noah Newman is also overwhelmed. He's trying to stay strong, but watching his father in this condition is breaking him down mentally. The tension between fear and helplessness is building fast. At this point, the room feels like it's closing in on everyone. Every second feels heavier than the last. Meanwhile, far away from the panic, Matt Clark continues to watch everything unfold through the live camera feed. He is not rushing, not reacting emotionally, he is observing. And the worst part is, he seems satisfied. For him, this is not chaos. This is entertainment. He sees Nick's suffering, Adam's desperation, Sharon's fear, and Noah's breakdown, and instead of stopping it, he simply watches it continue. Back at the gas station, Sienna Bacall finally takes a closer look at Nick's condition. She quickly realizes how serious it is. This is not just a simple overdose situation, this is critical. Her expression changes immediately. There is urgency in her movements now. She starts checking for any signs of what might have caused this reaction, while also thinking fast about how to stabilize him. Sienna has experience dealing with overdose cases in her personal life. That experience now becomes important in this exact moment. She understands what needs to happen immediately if there is any chance of saving Nick. But time is not on their side. Adam watches her closely, waiting for any instruction, any sign of hope. He is desperate for direction, but even Sienna knows this is extremely dangerous territory. Still, she does not give up. She starts acting quickly, trying to create even a small chance of recovery. The situation is unstable, but she refuses to step back. Sharon and Noah stay close, holding on to whatever hope is left. But the fear is still there. Because nobody knows if Nick will respond in time. The energy in the room is intense: fear, urgency, desperation, and uncertainty all mixed together. And just when it feels like things might stabilize slightly, the reality becomes clear. Nick is still in serious danger. And the next few minutes will decide everything. The tension in Las Vegas continues to rise as Nick Newman remains in critical condition. Nothing about this moment feels stable anymore. Every second that passes makes the situation more dangerous. Sienna Bacall takes control of the scene. She quickly shifts from observation to action, trying to stabilize Nick using whatever knowledge she has. Her focus is sharp, and her movements are fast, as if she already understands that hesitation could cost Nick his life. Adam Newman stays right beside her, watching every step she takes. He is completely focused now, no longer thinking about anything else except keeping Nick alive. His voice is low but urgent as he asks if there is anything at all, that can help. Sienna does not give false hope. She knows the situation is serious. But she also knows that immediate intervention is the only chance Nick has left. Sharon Newman stands a short distance away, visibly shaken but trying to stay present. She keeps looking at Nick, hoping for any sign of improvement. Her emotions are overwhelming, but she refuses to step away. Noah Newman is also struggling emotionally, but he stays close. Watching his father in this condition is something he never expected to face, and it is affecting him deeply. The atmosphere feels heavy, almost suffocating. Every sound, every movement, every breath feels important. Sienna continues working carefully, checking Nick's condition repeatedly. She is trying to slow down the damage while also preparing for any possible emergency step that might be needed next. Her experience becomes crucial in this moment, even if the outcome is still uncertain. Meanwhile, far away from the chaos, Matt Clark continues observing everything through the live feed. But now, something about him feels different. He is no longer just watching. He is analyzing. Nick's condition, Adam's reaction, Sienna's involvement, Matt is tracking every detail like he is following a plan that is unfolding exactly as expected. There is a disturbing calmness in the way he reacts. He does not interfere. He does not stop anything. Instead, he simply watches the situation develop further. Back in Genoa City, another major storyline begins to surface. Victor Newman is now dealing with Phyllis Summers. The pressure between them is increasing rapidly. Victor has already given Phyllis a strict deadline regarding the transfer of Newman-related assets. And now that time is running out, Victor is ready to take the next step. Phyllis, however, is not ready to back down. Even though she is clearly under pressure, she is still standing her ground. There is fear in her decisions, but also stubborn determination. She knows what Victor is demanding, and she knows what could happen if she refuses, but she is not showing weakness easily. Victor makes it very clear that time is over. The deal he offered is no longer open-ended. He wants action now. Phyllis is left with an impossible choice: either comply with Victor's demand or face legal consequences that could change everything for her. Back in Vegas, Nick's situation is still unstable. Sienna continues trying to stabilize him, but there is no clear sign of immediate recovery yet. The uncertainty keeps everyone on edge. Adam is still holding on. Sharon is still hoping. Noah is still watching in fear. And Matt Clark is still watching everything from the shadows, calm and controlled. At this stage, nothing is resolved. And the worst part is, the situation is still far from over. In Las Vegas, the situation surrounding Nick Newman is reaching its most dangerous stage yet. Every attempt to stabilize him has become a race against time, and the room is filled with a heavy silence broken only by urgent instructions and anxious breathing. Sienna Bacall continues working on Nick with full focus. Her priority is no longer just assessment, it is survival. She is carefully trying to counter the effects of the tainted substance, doing everything she can with the limited time and resources available. Nick's condition is still extremely unstable. There are brief moments where it feels like something might change, but nothing fully breaks through yet. It's a fragile situation, and even the smallest delay could turn it irreversible. Adam Newman remains at Nick's side, refusing to move away. His emotional state is stretched thin, but his determination is stronger than ever. He keeps talking to Nick, trying to keep him connected, as if his voice alone could pull him back. Sharon Newman is struggling to hold herself together. She is deeply shaken, watching every second with fear and hope mixed together. Her focus never leaves Nick, even when the situation feels overwhelming. Noah Newman stands nearby, visibly distressed. He is trying to process what is happening in real time, but the emotional weight is too heavy. Still, he does not leave. He stays close, hoping for even the smallest improvement. The tension in the room remains constant. No one dares to relax. No one believes the danger is over. Sienna continues to work with urgency. At one point, there is a slight reaction from Nick, small, uncertain, but noticeable enough to shift the energy in the room. It is not a full recovery, but it is the first sign that something might be changing. Adam notices it immediately. His expression changes, filled with cautious hope. Sharon also reacts, her fear momentarily replaced with relief, but it is still too early to be certain. The situation remains critical, but there is now a small possibility that Nick may pull through. Meanwhile, in Genoa City, Victor Newman is escalating pressure on Phyllis Summers. The deadline he previously set has now officially passed, and Victor is no longer negotiating. His tone is firm, controlled, and uncompromising. He makes it clear that Phyllis has reached the final stage of his demand. Phyllis, however, is still resisting. Even though she is clearly under stress, she refuses to fully surrender. She understands the consequences, but she is also aware that giving in could cost her everything she has been fighting for. Victor warns her again, this is no longer a warning phase. It is the final opportunity to comply before legal action begins. Phyllis is now cornered. Every option she has left comes with risk. Back in Las Vegas, Nick's condition continues to fluctuate. The small sign of response creates a fragile hope, but nothing is stable yet. Sienna stays alert, continuing her efforts without pause. Adam remains focused, not allowing himself to believe it is over yet. Sharon holds on to hope, even if it is uncertain. Noah watches, still shaken but present. And somewhere in the background, the danger is still not fully gone. Because even though there is a sign of progress, Nick Newman is not out of danger yet. And the next moment could change everything again. The situation in Las Vegas finally begins to shift, but the tension in the air is still far from gone. Nick Newman's condition remains serious, but the earlier signs of response now start to develop into something more noticeable. Sienna Bacall stays fully focused, continuing her efforts without hesitation. Every action she takes is carefully calculated, trying to keep Nick stable long enough for him to fully come back. There is still no guarantee, but the situation is no longer completely hopeless. Adam Newman refuses to move away from Nick's side. He is exhausted, emotionally drained, but still completely locked in on what is happening. For him, this moment feels like it has lasted forever. He keeps watching for any change, any sign that Nick is finally coming back to himself. Sharon Newman is still overwhelmed, but she is holding on. Her fear slowly starts to shift into cautious relief as the situation stabilizes slightly. She does not fully relax, but the intensity of panic begins to ease just a little. Noah Newman is also still present, deeply affected by everything he has witnessed. The emotional impact of seeing his father in such a condition leaves a lasting impression on him, but he stays strong enough to remain by his side. After several tense moments, Nick finally shows clearer signs of improvement. His condition stabilizes enough for everyone to realize that he is going to survive this crisis. It is not an instant recovery, but it is a turning point. The relief in the room is immediate but controlled. No one celebrates loudly because everyone understands how close this came to becoming a tragedy. Adam exhales heavily, finally allowing himself a moment of relief. Sharon's expression softens, though she is still emotional. Noah remains quiet, processing everything. Sienna steps back slightly, clearly exhausted but focused. She knows the danger has not completely disappeared, but the immediate crisis has passed. Meanwhile, in Genoa City, Victor Newman continues his confrontation with Phyllis Summers. The pressure is now at its peak. Victor makes it clear that there are no more extensions, no more warnings. The situation has reached its final stage. Phyllis is now facing the real consequences of her decision. Phyllis stands her ground, but it is clear that she is under immense strain. She understands the seriousness of Victor's position, and she knows that refusing him could lead to legal trouble that she may not be able to avoid. Victor remains calm but firm. He does not raise his voice. He does not need to. His control over the situation is absolute, and Phyllis knows it. The episode closes with both storylines still hanging in tension. In Las Vegas, Nick has survived, but the emotional and physical aftermath is just beginning. In Genoa City, Phyllis is now standing at the edge of a major decision that could change her future completely. Nothing is fully resolved. And the consequences of everything that has happened are only just starting to unfold.